Amber, as usual, was packing her husband for a business trip. Suddenly, she saw a package of condoms in one of the pockets of the suitcase, and everything inside her went cold. Considering that the couple had been trying to have children for 5 years, the presence of these goods was rather suspicious. Her husband came out of the bathroom, but Amber was silent. Charles, hastily dressed, grabbed his suitcase and left for the airport, carelessly kissing his wife on the cheek. Having realized that her husband was cheating on her, Amber stood in a kind of numbness for a long time, and she did not know what to do now. For the whole week, while her husband was away on business, Amber could not find peace. She constantly called Charles, trying to catch him in a lie. When he returned, he coldly hugged Amber and said, "I'm very tired. I'm going to take a shower and go to bed." Amber couldn't hold it all inside any more and called her best friend. She told Angela in tears about her suspicions and asked to meet and talk it out. But Angela apologized and offered to reschedule the meeting for another day. From that moment, Amber's husband started staying late at work every day, and when he arrived, he went straight to bed, citing fatigue. Amber could not meet Angela either because she was too busy all the time. Amber's nerves were at their limit, and after a few days, she decided to talk to her husband no matter what. To her surprise, he came early and with a huge bouquet of flowers. "Amber, forgive me for not paying much attention to you lately. I have to work very hard. Your father made me the head of the business, gave me a start, but now I have to move on my own. I can see that it's affected our relationship. You worry all the time. You need to rest. In this envelope is a trip to the sea that you have wanted so much. Tell me honestly, have you got another woman?" asked Amber straightly, not happy with such a gift. "Are you crazy? I love only you, and you made up nonsense. You're tired and you need to relax." "But we planned to go on vacation together, didn't we?" said the woman angrily. "Honey, fly alone and I'll take care of everything and come to you in a week," reassured Amber's husband. Already at the airport, Amber realized that she did not want to go anywhere. She remembered that she had not visited her parents in a long time and hurriedly called a cab and drove to their summer house. She decided not to tell her husband anything yet. When she drove up to the house, the first person she saw was Logan, her father's driver. Amber had known him since high school, and he had long become a friend of the family. The guy was even in love with Amber, but while he was in the army, the girl married Charles. "Aren't you supposed to be at sea now?" exclaimed his parents in surprise. "Yes, I'll have time for that. Some day later." Amber tried to smile, but her parents realized that something had happened between her and her husband. 2 weeks flew by unnoticed. Charles only wrote a couple of messages to Amber, one of which said he would not be able to come to her. But that did not bother Amber that much. Her parents surrounded her with love and care, and besides, she and Logan were practically always together. They rode bicycles, swam in the lake, and hiked in the mountains. Amber felt so good and relaxed with Logan that she did not want to call her husband, much less go back to their place in the city. And she often regretted that a long time ago she had chosen Charles over Logan. There were only 2 days left before the end of her vacation, and Amber's parents persuaded her to stay for another week. She agreed with pleasure and asked Logan to go into town with her to pick up her laptop so she could gradually get back to work at the company. Upon entering the apartment, Amber bumped into Charles coming out of the bathroom. "Amber, why are you so early?" said her husband frightenedly. And then a woman's voice called to him from the bedroom. which seemed familiar to Amber. She rushed into the bedroom and, seeing Angela in their bed, laughed out loud. At last, the whole picture in Amber's mind was fully compiled, but strangely, it didn't bother her at all. Amber hurriedly gathered her husband's things and, pushing the suitcase out the door, turned to Logan with a smile. "How happy I am that I didn't fly to the sea." A couple of weeks later, Amber divorced, and a year later, she and Logan were already the happy parents of 2 adorable daughters.